Now, many of you might go to Desmos for this, and I'll show you that you can do that, but you really shouldn't in a case like this. For many systems of equations questions, we do want to use Desmos because there's a lot of algebra involved, and Desmos is basically just going to give us a visual representation of that algebra, so we'll just be able to see and click the point. But we don't need to do any algebra here. Really, this is just plug points into equations, our favorite strategy. The thing is, this equation here isn't really an equation. It is a point, right? They're telling us one of the coordinates of this point of intersection, which is y being 28. So at that point, all you got to do is make a little substitution. So this becomes 28 equals 12x minus 20. And now this isn't really about systems of equations at all. It's about solving for x. Again, you really need to know how to do this. This is pretty basic algebra. You could go to Desmos again at this point if you really wanted to, and it'll solve it for you. But I would just say add 20 to both sides, right? We get 48 is equal to 12x. Then divide by 12, divide by 12. It's kind of messy here. And we get x is 4. So basically, what are we looking for? We're looking for a situation where the x coordinate is 4 and the y coordinate is 28. So here we go. 4 and 28, right? They're in the right order. So this would be a little bit of a trap if we got confused about which order they went in. I would assume that B and D are answers you would get if you didn't quite finish the job here. Maybe you did the algebra wrong, something like that. So I don't know where those choices come from. But you really don't need to be doing very much here. This is a plug points into equations situation. If you really wanted to, you could have also plugged points into equations from the start by taking each of these points and testing them out in, let's say, choice A, right? We would definitely know, hopefully, that it couldn't be choices C or D because the y coordinate is not 28. Then it would just be a matter of testing it out, right? So 28 is equal to 12 times 4 minus 20. You might even be able to do that in your head. 12 times 4 is 48. 48 minus 20 is 28. So that checks out. Whereas just to show you what happens if it doesn't go right, this would be 28 is equal to 12 times 20 minus 20. Well, 12 times 20 is 240. So what we have here is 28 is equal to 220. Way off, right? We're getting basically a sentence that doesn't make any sense. 28 is not equal to 220. Those are totally different numbers. So again, we could go into Desmos here, but it does take time to enter these things. I already did it for us so we could save time in the video, but you'd have to enter them. You have to make sure you enter them correctly. And then you got to zoom because it's not a nice number. So here we go. We are looking for where these two things intersect. That's what we wanted. And if we tap it, we see the exact point that we got. So that's how systems of equations would normally work in Desmos. But again, I don't think that that's the most efficient thing here. If you are this scared of algebra that you need to go to Desmos for something where one of the equations is just a number, then you have a lot of stuff to work on because Desmos is not going to save you. You need to strengthen those algebra skills to get really good scores for the SAT.